Hello, welcome back to Fire Essence Gaming. My name is Ben, and today we're going to continue on with Rizia. So last time out, we gave a speech at Easy University, went to Rumburg to visit with the Queen, and then welcomed Duke Reinhardt for a official visit, kind of regarding what we're going to do with, play in the administrative district down here. So let's see here. Looks like we got at least one report here. So, yep, just the one here from Salabe. Law enforcement clears Dasner's protest. Police dispersed at Dasner's rally in Salabe following tensions over perceived leniency in drug policies. Increased patrols around the port have led to a noticeable decline in petty crime, but concerns are growing about potential shifts in smuggling routes. Merchants in the Oceanside Culture District have reported fewer customers since the crackdown, and some fear that increased patrols may deter tourism. Interesting. That's definitely a fair concern as well. Let's see. That's the only report. Looks like no news articles. Let's see what's going on over here, though. Let's see here. Oh, we just have an update on Angelica Saison. Yeah, just adding that we pardoned her there. Cool. Let's see. The only thing here? Looks like it. Cool. And then, yeah, probably just that again. Maybe? Hold on. Oh, yeah, just her again. I had to click it individually, I guess. Alright. Let's see here. I guess let's go to Bronaz. Let's check out some unrest over unfulfilled welfare promises. Let's see here. The broken promises regarding improved welfare services have led to significant protests near the capital at Bronaz. The crowd, frustrated by unmet assurances of better health and education funding, demands immediate action from the Crown. The situation poses critical challenge to the monarchy's credibility. I mean, I want to do that, I just don't have money at the moment. Let's see. I mean, I don't really want to crack down on them because they're just doing what they feel is necessary. I guess offer renewed assurances? Like, as soon as I have the money, I'm going to do it. So we'll see what happens here. And then there's a report about it here. So, thousands descend on sleepy Bronaz. A large demonstration filled the streets of Bronaz as people from across the country traveled to the town to demand improved welfare services. Frustration especially was heard at the broken promises of improved spending by the king. While some arrests happened on the margins of the protest, it was largely peaceful. And then news report, probably about the same thing. Yeah, from the Royal Herald, Palace assures protesters king is listening. Palace has assured the protesters gathering Bronaz that the king is listening to their concerns and intends to improve the welfare situation. While budgetary constraints must be taken into account, the king intends to look into possible changes to the welfare system in order to improve and streamline the system. Cool. Then I guess let's head over to Portrazon for a dinner with the family. Golden candlesticks stood along the length of the table in the royal dining room. Their flickering light cast a warm glow on my daughter's face, matching the warmth in her eyes. My mother hurried into the room, holding the train of her silk brocade gown. Hobble calmly pulled out her chair. "I'm truly sorry, dears. It took two ladies in waiting to squeeze me into this old thing. But I wouldn't miss supper for the world. It's been ages since the three of us sat around the same table." It's been a hard year for Vina. I wanted to give her time to process her feelings. My daughter managed a weak smile. "It's very kind of you, father." "Pardon my interruption, but dinner is served." Pablo rang a small bell. An army of kitchen staff materialized around the table, bearing plates of food. He fastidiously wiped the dust off an ancient-looking wine bottle before pouring glasses for Vina and my mother, then me. "A rare Consuelo Grand Cru, bottled in 1926, days prior to the uprising." A curious choice, Pablo. An exceptional vintage for a special occasion. Pablo bowed and disappeared back into the kitchen. I looked down at my plate. Dinner tonight was monkey's lobster with rice and plenty of butter. Your father couldn't stand lobster as a child, Vina. I could only get him to eat it by telling him there's a magical creature called the sea pheasant. Example of how we all believe what we want to, no matter how implausible. My mother nodded in agreement. Vina didn't respond. What's on your mind, Vina? You know you can tell me anything. Nothing. Well... She slowly and deliberately put down her fork. I can't bear it anymore. Father, did you do it? My mother went pale. She shot Vina a look of warning. Honey, please, not at the dinner table. What is it that you think I did? My daughter stared at me with hollow eyes. You never liked Manus. It was all a ruse. You scared him off. I don't know what you threatened him with, but it must have been terrible. I was in the middle of working with Manus. Why do I want to dispose of him? No? One of your capricious whims, maybe? Vina seemed close to tears. My butler discreetly offered her a kerchief. No, thanks, Bob, but I'm fine. She turns back towards me. Did you ever really want me on the council, or was that just to keep me busy while you... She started sobbing. Estella rushed over to her side of the table and embraced her tightly. There, darling, let it all out. It seems like the end of the world now, I know, but you've got your entire life ahead of you. You'll fall in love again, and you'll look back on your present self and laugh at what a silly little girl she was, getting so hung up over someone she barely even knew. Vina took a long, shaky breath. I know how much Manus meant to you. I would never do anything to hurt him. I know. I'm sorry for my outburst. Speaking of falling in love again, how open are you to the possibility of another suitor? She stared at me disbelievingly. Yeah, it's probably not the right time to bring this up, but that's okay. Who? Duke Axel Reinhardt. Vina pushed away her plate with a stunned expression. Oh, honey, don't look so surprised. I saw the way you looked at him at the gas deal signing. You like him. Vina reddened. Yes, I think he's handsome. Everyone does. He's much kinder than the media makes him out to be. But I'm not in love with him. I mean, you'll grow to love him over time. It happened with me and your mother. You've never been in love before. How could you even know that was what you felt? Vina, an arranged marriage can turn into genuine affection just as easily. So-called true love can curdle into resentment. I speak, of course, from experience. That may be so, but what about the Reinhardts? Do we really want to merge our house with theirs? How do you know they'll even be on board with our plans for reform? Let's go with this one. Reunifying Rizia and Palea will get the rest of the kingdom behind us. They'll have to support whatever we decide. I still don't know. As much as I've enjoyed being on your council, I still believe our kingdom's citizens should have more of a say in its future. I thought that's what you wanted as well. A martial alliance with another monarchy feels like a step backwards to me. Definitely not going with option 4 there. That's kind of a dick move. Let's go with that one. I still have every intention of bringing change to Rizia. Our chances of success will be much higher with the wealth and support of Palea behind us. If I marry Reinhardt, I intend to hold you to that promise. My mother was smiling proudly. Joining the Royal Council has agreed with you, hasn't it? I used to be so jealous of noble women like you. They'd come into my establishment spending like tycoons and talking like encyclopedias. But when I joined your ranks, I realized the price of all that privilege. Sooner or later, you've got to put your personal aspirations aside and do your womanly duty on behalf of the kingdom. It's not like that. Marry Axel and you can pursue whatever dreams you want to. All except one. She rubbed her brow, deep in thought. Finally, she spoke again. If you really believe marrying Axel is what's best for the kingdom, I will do it. Oh, marvelous! My mother clapped her hands. Papa, some champagne. We've got an engagement to celebrate. Right away, madam. I don't think it's official yet, but that's okay. He absconded into the kitchen and returned with a bottle. Pour yourself a glass, Pobble. It's a special occasion. Pobble briskly shook his head. It's a very expensive vintage, not to be wasted on butlers. He filled their glasses, and Vina hoisted hers high. The hint of a smile was beginning to show on her face. To reunited Rizia, perhaps this will be fun after all. Wait, I still have your mother's ring. I want you to wear it at the wedding. Oh, Father, it would be an honor. We clinked our glasses. Over dessert, we began discussing wedding preparations. Interesting. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, 2 newspaper articles. So, first up from the Royal Herald, Rufus Gragg's Royal Gossip. Vina engaged. What's that I hear? Why, it's wedding bells for the Belle of Rizia, Her Highness Venus Taurus. The latest out of Palais Resna is that Princess Vina has gotten engaged to His Grace Duke Dashing, aka Axel Reinhardt of the Grand Duchy of Palais. The engagement is a historic step forward for Palais and Rizia, which are set to finally unite after centuries of cold feet. And it's about time Vina tied the knot. The young lady is getting perilously close to her 25th birthday. We'll keep you posted on preparations for the big royal wedding, which is sure to be one for the books. And from Geopolitica, Rizia Palais union imminent? Speculation of a potential reunification of Rizia and Palais skyrocketed as the Rizian Palace announces that Princess Vina will marry Parisian Grand Duke Axel Reinhardt. Time will tell what implications marriage will have, but at the very least, ties between 2 monarchies will be improved and cemented. Whether this can lead to a full-on reunification of both countries, with Palais rumored to be considered as the 5th Rizian province, remains to be seen. Interesting, cool. Let's see. I guess just stick here at Port Jazan and decide the lineage of Princess Vina's heirs. Okay. Those both look like the exact same option, but alright, anyway. Let's see. The future of the Taurus royal lineage is at a crossroads, with the crown princess's forthcoming marriage. Tradition dictates that she and any children she may bear take her husband's surname, effectively removing House Taurus from the royal line of succession. However, the King of Rizia may issue an exception allowing the Taurus name to be passed down matrilineally. Okay. Yeah, the options are, I made a promise to Axel, Vina must become a Reinhardt, and Vina and her children shall take her husband's name. Those are the exact same thing? I guess just go with that one? They both effectively have the exact same outcome, but whatever. Alright, let's see here. And we got one more newspaper article here from the Royal Herald. Rufus Gragg's Royal Gossip. King confident he will have another child? With the announcement that Vina's children will not bear the Taurus name, one cannot help but wonder, is the king planning to have another successor? Will he try for a son? Due to the decision, it seems highly unlikely that Vina will end up being our next queen, because if she does, the reign of House Taurus will come to an end after her. This simply can't happen. Interesting. Okay. Who knows what's going to happen there. Alright, let's see. So I guess we're going to go to Valancourt here. to respond to harsh police response to some protests. Oh no, protesting against harsh responses, sorry. A large-scale protest has broken out, condemning the kingdom's violent crackdowns on recent demonstrations and widespread reports of police brutality. Citizens outraged by the government's aggressive responses to peaceful protests have taken to the streets demanding justice for those harmed during previous crackdowns. Organized by human rights groups and concerned citizens, the protest calls for an end to the heavy-handed tactics used by security forces and for accountability within the police. Well, it's going to hurt a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and allow the protest. Alright, that appears to be the end of the churn here. Let's see, so I'm going to take a look at seeing what I can do from that welfare stuff here so we can sell some energy. And yeah, I will be back in a minute. So, kind of scrolling through everything. If I try to sell any of this extra energy we have, it'll cost all of my authority, so I can't really do anything if I do that. But this equal gender pay law looks like it'll help boost my budget by 2 to 4 per churn. It costs me everything I have right now, but I think that's going to be the best way to go right now. So we're going to go ahead and sign that. Yes. Okay, that went the opposite way because it did not say minus. Well, that's fantastic. Alright, well, whatever. Anyway, a little late now. We got to roll with it. So let's see here. Policy update here with equal gender pay. Close that. And then one article from the Royal Herald. Gender pay gap becomes history. The king has ordered all employers to eliminate any disparities in pay between men and women within the year. It is deeply unfair that women still earn less than their male counterparts for the same work in large sectors of our economy. We must salute our king for finally getting rid of the stain on Rizia's otherwise impeccable gender equality record. Queen Liza would be proud of our king. Alright, probably wouldn't be that proud of our amazing -2 budget, but that's okay. Anyway, we'll deal with it. Let's move on. Chapter 3, Leviathan. Nice, new chapter. Guessing this is probably going to be 4 chapters again like the base game, but who knows. Let's see, so we got 3 more exclamation marks. Let's see, we got Grace, Portrazon, and Monkeys. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Security Council meeting in Portrazon. Let's see. Let's just start here, because this looks like it'll be a lot quicker. Vendanasom Civil War Stalemate. The civil war in Vendanasom evolved into a prolonged stalemate, where neither side could clinch a decisive victory. Kantapur remained under monarchist control, while Suryangara continued its resilient stand, despite the ebb and flow of Rizian support. The drawn-out battles for Ragkara and Panguvi became symbols of the enduring impasse, with each side gaining and losing ground in a seemingly endless cycle. In Tamarin, this deadlock played out fiercely, with constant skirmishes and strategic maneuvers yielding little change in control. The nation, divided and war-weary, yearned for resolution. As days turned into months and months into years, the conflict became a part of daily life, with no clear end in sight. I guess we're going to ignore the lost cause? I hope that means we're pulling our troops back. Holy crap. That somehow gave us -7 budget per churn. Good lord. Okay. We got +1 authority per churn now, though. And we lost 3 budget per churn. Okay. That's all possibly problematic. We do have a new economy decree available, though. Let's see. We got 2 of them. Portrazon Stock Exchange. Yeah, that could be interesting if we can figure out how to afford it. And organize Portrazon tourism campaign. Interesting. Okay. Let's see here. So we got 1 article from the Geopolitico. Vendanasom civil war grinds to a halt. No end in sight. With neither the revolutionaries nor the prince consort able to gain the upper hand despite years of fighting, the Vendanasom civil war has entered a bloody stalemate, with brutal trench warfare wearing down both sides. While several countries have urged the Vendanasan monarchy to negotiate and bring about a lasting peace deal, it would seem Kabawan Sangtam is not willing to listen to any country aside from its traditional Grace allies, who have remained quiet on the matter. Meanwhile, the besieged monarchy has criticized some of its long-standing allies, especially calling out Rizia, saying a lack of military support is preventing it from achieving the final victory. I mean, I kept sending troops, so I don't know what more they want from me, but that's okay. Let's see, and then we have a military situation update. Average size fleets, okay. And then, ooh, nice. The Royal Monkey's port and shipyard is finished finally, so that's helpful. And then average power projection in our diplomacy situations. Alright, interesting. Let's see. Let's check out Monkeys. Let's see what we got going here. Yeah, got a couple things. Let's just start with this one. Coastal Batteries Fire has expanded docks open. With the salvo from the newly constructed coastal batteries protecting the harbor, work was declared complete. The freshly added docks enable the port to handle more cargo, alleviating the existing trade bottleneck. Cool. And we got one more report from, let's see, it looks like Grace. Intensified support to overcome stalemate in Vendanasan. Grace is escalating its support for the monarchist forces in the Vendanasan civil war, reaffirming its role as a steadfast ally of nations committed to preserving monarchic governments. To address the ongoing stalemate, Grace is deploying additional resources, including enhanced strategic military assistance, logistical support, and intelligence sharing capabilities. This initiative is a reflection of our shared values and the collective responsibility of monarchist nations to uphold stability and order in times of crisis. Grace remains resolute in its mission to assist its allies in achieving a decisive outcome, ensuring that the principles of monarchic rule continue to thrive and contribute to regional and global stability. Interesting. Alright. Let's see. Well, let's head back to Monkeys. So we got rising costs from foreign dependency. See, the Treasury has confirmed an unsustainable increase in trade-related spending. With key industrial sectors underdeveloped, essential goods continue to flow in from abroad at rising prices. Advisors warn that the Crown's reliance is deepening, and the burden now compounds with each passing quarter. Negative budget per churn. We have definitely neglected the issue. I guess that explains, yeah, -4 per churn from foreign goods reliance costs. Which, if I can get money, I can upgrade our industries, which is what I was hoping to do, but not at the moment. Let's see. Alright, well, I don't know. We'll hopefully figure things out as we go. Now, though, we're going to go to Security Council meeting. I felt the cool sand between my toes as I ran along the beach of Zeal with my grandparents. Ahead, the vast expanse of the Gulf of Meridia stretched out endlessly, shimmering in the sunlight. I remembered the salty breeze tussling my hair as our boat glided across the surface, the rhythmic sound of the waves, the cries of seagulls. It was a simpler time, a time of pure joy untainted by the weight of royal duties. The sound of a ticking clock snapped me back to reality. Sitting at the head of my council room table, I again checked the time on the wall-mounted timepiece. It was 3:15. Lucida was late. I was here to be briefed on the latest updates on Zeal, but it was beginning to look like a postponement was in order. Titus, punctual as usual, stood nearby. It's unusual for Lucida to keep us waiting like this.
Quite uncharacteristic of her.
Just as my eyes were beginning to veer towards the clock once more, the doors opened and Lucida hurried in, clutching a folder. 2 men in military uniforms followed her, pushing a film projector into the room. The trio's entrance spoke of urgency. Lucida, so glad you could finally join us. I was beginning to think you weren't coming. Please forgive me, Your Majesty. I had urgent matters to attend to. Suffice it to say, we've had a breakthrough in the Friendship Day bombing case. A big one. Really? Then please proceed. Thank you, gentlemen. Lucida signaled to the men, who began setting up the film projector. What does it have to do with a film projector? So glad you asked. Thanks to recent technological advancements, we can capture live images through security cameras on reel-to-reel recordings.
We've actually been exploring similar technology for palace security. Still in its infancy, but promising.
Anyway, what you're about to witness may be the silver bullet we've been looking for. Lucida's men activated the film projector, casting moving images onto a screen. The room fell silent as the footage came to life. The film transported us to an industrial landscape of towering cargo containers and stacked crates.
What exactly are we looking at?
This happens to be the Maritime Logistics Terminal, a shipping yard in Palais. Two men came into focus on the footage, one of them carrying a sizable case. The case bearer surreptitiously opened it for his companion, revealing what appeared to be electronic equipment. Once the other man seemed content, he handed an envelope to the one holding the case and in exchange took possession of it. Then they parted ways, each heading in a different direction. The film concluded and the lights in the room were brought back up. Lucida turned to her men. Thank you, that will be all. The two men left, shutting the doors behind them. Okay, what exactly did I just watch? I'm assuming that briefcase or whatever was the, whatever components for the bomb were. Yep, there we go. The exchange of the main components used in the bomb. They were identified through the serial numbers of materials retrieved from the crime scene, provided by Valen's investigation team. Okay, you've got my attention. Please go on. As I've previously mentioned, the material we've been dealing with here came straight from Circuit Rise systems in Palais. Furthermore, the man responsible for bringing the stolen material, Aurelio Iturriaga, played a pivotal role at Circuit Rise. Lucida opened her folders and handed out photos of the man. His unique position granted him exclusive access to their electronic components inventory, everything from capacitors to resistors. Exploiting this privileged access, Iturriaga manipulated the inventory records, masking the disappearance of these crucial materials. He altered dates, quantities, and descriptions, creating a false trail that effectively concealed his actions from suspicion. Impressive work. We're finally getting closer to uncovering the truth behind this ordeal. Thank you. In any case, this anomaly, combined with the footage you just witnessed, became a critical clue on unmasking our collaborator. In addition, he resigned less than a week after the exchange, and since then he hasn't pursued any other employment opportunities. How did your team track his whereabouts? Or, better question, what led you to discover this footage in the first place? As a high-ranking Circuit Rise executive, he often visited the shipping yard to oversee operations.
Oversight at a shipping yard? What kind of high-ranking executive does that?
Well, that's where things get interesting, I'm guessing. We tracked his whereabouts during the time the material vanished and his subsequent resignation. We found that he made a trip to the docks, checking in on one of those days. Fortunately for us, the shipping yard recently installed security cameras, confirming our suspicions. Titus raised a questioning eyebrow.
And the security services just handed over the footage.
Let's just say we obtained it through other means. What of the other man? Do you know his identity? Yes, actually. His name is Hector Ramiro. On paper, he's a political officer, but in reality, he's a known spy from Lesbia stationed at the consulate in Zeal. He has diplomatic immunity, so we've been unable to bring him in for questioning. However, this evidence gives us serious reason to believe that Lesbia is involved in arranging the Zeal incident. A silence fell over the room as we all absorbed the news.
Lesbia directly involved in the bombing. This changes everything.
Lesbia. Why am I not surprised? It goes without saying that the implications are deeply concerning. That's why I needed to tell you about this immediately. This also indicates that Play had no responsibility or connection to the bombing. As for Lesbia's motive, I think the bombing was meant to sow discord between Rizia and Valen as a means of destabilization. Lesbia's actions gave Smarlock the justification to cling to Zeal. Lucida nodded. The question now is what impact this will have on Zeal's reunification, not to mention our relations with Lesbia. Due to our intelligence sharing agreement with Valen, the evidence against Lesbia may be made public to them. That's too bad. We could have used this as leverage with Prime Minister Alvarez. It would have been nice to have more time to figure out how to release the information, but we will handle it accordingly. Unfortunately, regardless of our efforts, I believe Smolak is determined to keep Zeal under any circumstance. Here's where we are regarding progress on Zeal's return, Your Majesty. I can only speak with authority about the security-related terms of your agreement. I believe we are on track to meet the terms set in our agreement 3 years ago, but you would know best. Going public with the Lesbia evidence will be good insurance, even if it's not strictly needed.
With all that in mind, I suggest we review our contingency plan for getting Zeal back should our agreement fail.
Agreed. Let us explore our options. From the way I see it, we can either approach this diplomatically, or, if necessary, take a more aggressive stance. Let's begin with the diplomatic approach. Thoughts? Thanks to a mix of international outreach and cultural soft power, support for Zeal's peaceful unification has been growing at a steady pace. If we wanted to put more pressure on the Smolak regime without resorting to violence, we could increase funding for the Oriana Tourist Association. Furthering the advocacy for Rizian values could rally public support in the case of a reunification referendum. People tend to value having a say in shaping their own destiny. True, the ATA has demonstrated considerable effectiveness, and we should keep it in mind in case additional services are required. Regarding ATA, their administrative costs aren't high, but they're not within our current budget. Those are our only diplomatic options. Let's hear what our less than diplomatic alternatives look like. Lucida nodded. The armed resistance movement in Zeal is gaining momentum, but perhaps not fast enough for our purposes. At this point, our options for increasing the strength of the movement are limited. But let's not forget that we still have a number of Golconda's mercenaries in the region awaiting our command.
Despite the Blues' unconventional beliefs, their skill and expertise could prove invaluable in this endeavor.
As much as I don't want to see Zeal descend into violence, we do need to consider all our options at this point. My counselor gave a short nod of affirmation. Your thoughts, Your Majesty? I suggest we await Valen's response before determining our course of action. Lucida acknowledged with a simple nod. In any case, you've given me a lot to think about. This whole mess with Zeal has been truly taxing, to say the least. Rest assured, we're well equipped to handle the intricacies of the situation.
I second Duchess Sorrow. I have no doubt we'll find a solution that serves the best interests of Rizia.
Titus saw himself out. However, Lucida remained behind. Something on your mind, Duchess? A teasing smile adorned Lucida's face. Just thought I'd see what your plans are for the rest of the day. You needed company? I thought you'd never ask. With Lucida offering an approving smile, we departed from the council room and headed to my private quarters shortly afterward. Interesting, okay. Ah, cool. Apparently we have strong women's rights situation. That's pretty sweet. See, we got some reports, a couple newspaper articles. But that feels like probably as good a place as any to go ahead and call it for today. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you all next time.